with some instruction. So anyway, so she tonight she will be talking with us to us about two topics. One of them is her experience as a World Bank consultant to the Philippine international trade shows, helping the local artists there create new ideas for their industry. Very different and very interesting, and also the process of copywriting your artwork. So a warm welcome for Nadia.
Let me say one word for you. I'll give you a little guideline, okay?
Yes, Madam Buttons.
Okay, thank you so much, Nadia.
Buonasera to everybody. Welcome to the meeting. I'm delighted and very honored to be here tonight. There is a lot of topics, as you know, but I will make them short. And my presentation tonight is mainly for you to ask me questions. You ask me questions and not to let me talk about myself too much. So the two main subjects that I will talk today is the International Trade Commission in the Philippines. They approached me and they asked me if I wanted to work with them. And I got the approval and I got the contract with the World Bank as a consultant. So I went there. I had no idea what they wanted. They just came and they said, look, we need you to do something for these experts, for these local artists, and also for our artisans. Now, mind you, I'm not a Filipina, and I have not lived in the Philippines all my life, so I had to study very quickly, in 1 week, what were the trends that they had there. So I looked at the trends, I saw what they had. I loved the artists. They were up in the mountains, and I took my counterpart. I was assigned to two designers, and I took these two designers with me, and we took a jeep, and we went to these little tiny, dinky little places where you would never think there is an artist there. One of them touched me the most. He was up in the mountains. I forgot the name of that place. It's not Baguio. And he did wood carving. And we were in the process of associating with a partner with a Japanese city. So I picked up the phone and I called the mayor there. And I said, if I bring you some artists, will you please accept them? He answered, he said, Azumi sounds Japanese. I said, yes, but I'm not Japanese. My husband is Japanese. Oh, I see. Yes, please send me whatever information you have via telex at that time. So we went to the countryside. We saw this fabulous artist who was hunched and doing carving on ebony wood. I fell in love with the ebony wood. So together, we stormed on creating a line of Filipino dolls to bring them to the Japanese sister city and exhibited them there for the international trade show from the Philippines to Japan. So we took this artist and we tried to convince him if he wanted to do this work for us. He had never done dolls. All he did was these massive gods of up from the in the mountains. They all have all kind of tattoos, and he carved. So I said, no, but I want different things. So he said, well, what do you want? I said, I want the really original aborigines of the Philippines on dolls. So he designed the dolls, he carved the dolls, and then with the head of these warriors, we used the capis, which is that very transparent, looks like a cracker, but we did all the heads and everything. So there were these warriors in all positions with a bow and arrow, trying to kill a snake on the floor, on the ground. But then, looking at all these dolls, they looked very masculine. So I said, we need another couple of dolls. So we did the traditional costume of the Filipino gentleman and the lady. And I had another artist who came and did these gorgeous paper-mache bodies. And then they embroidered everything in silk, when banana fiber. They embroidered everything. We dressed them up. We sent them to Japan, and they won the awards. And two of my designers were assigned to go to Japan for the first time, and they were there for 15 days on the expense of the Japanese government. So doing all this, I reported back to the World Bank, and I sent all the reports of all these artists. And I went looking at them. I said, okay, well, what would you like to do? Well, I have this project, but I don't know what to do to fix it. What do you have? So looking at what they had, I came up with an idea. I designed it, I sketched it, I gave it to them. They sent it to the factory, and they produced it. And that's how the little cottage industry started working. So this was my work as a trade show consultant for the bank, going around, looking at the booths, looking around at the designers, what they had, and say, well, you know, if you work this way, if you just change the color, if you just change that corner, you would succeed. And indeed they did. So I'm very happy for that. Do you have any questions regarding this? No? Okay.
So, how long were you doing that type of work?
I did that for 1 year because we had to leave. So I had to be as a consultant. There was a certain amount of funding that you could not overpass that unless you didn't get the approval from Washington. So that's what we had to do. Now, as far as the copyright is concerned, my silks, some of those are already in Italy. Copyright is very easy to copy. You can change the color, you can change the design, you can change anything you want and still have the same design. But not in the case of fashion. If you work with the fashion houses have clout, they have money, and they have lawyers. So if they see the design, that you change the corner, you change the color, they'll come after you. That is why I now have to be extremely careful as to what I put outside. I can make designs that go only to the runway shows, and I can make designs for the craft shows, because I love some craft shows that I would like to continue doing. So you have to be very careful. Also copyright, if you put Disney, if you put anything that has to do with the big companies, be very careful, because they will find out. And if they do find out, you're in big trouble. This happened a lot in the international trade shows, not under my project, but some of the people went and copied Disney, put the ears of Mickey, and did something different. They were ousted. They were completely ousted. And there are companies in the US that also go for the buck. I will give you an example. I did the eggs. We used to have Nadia Bella, as you saw in the letter. I had a company. So we got the eggs, thousands of eggs. We paid the baker to blow them. They came in the truck, and we divided the kids to cut the paper and do the eggs. At the trade show, I had a booth for the dolls and for the eggs. Two companies came, and they said, we would like a selection of 12 cartons, 12 eggs in a carton, of all the colors you have of the washi paper. So I said, the washi paper is thousands of prints. You can't just select this. So no, we want in colors, green, yellow, blue, or red. Okay, how much are your eggs? They're 50 cents a piece. Oh, okay, then we'll get a couple of 12, and then out of that, we won't take any more. So I said, well, may I ask why? And they said, well, you know, we go to China. We can take these and bring them to China, and then they will give this job to the people in the jail, and they will charge 5 cents. I said, well, sir, with all due respect, you came to the wrong booth, because now I will report you. They were banned. Macy was banned, Nordstrom was banned, and Pier 1 was banned. They were not allowed to shop. So So it takes a period, and then they come back. Then they have to be retested to see if they are really going to do anything illegal again. So as these things go around, you have to be careful. Also, depending if you're using anything for export, that's another thing you have to be considered about. You have to consider the eggs, for example. I had 3 container vans going to Singapore. 3 container vans of eggs. Look at the job I gave to these 3 kids to take care of these eggs. They cut the corner. They didn't disinfect the eggs, and the eggs had salmonella in it. The 3 container vans were completely destroyed. So if you have to think if what you really want to export. In Manila it was cheap because all the eggs was very easy to do, but I don't think I will do that again in the Philippines. So just be careful what you get into. But at the same time, if a door opens, don't lose the chance. All my life I wanted to do something for myself, for my art, and what I love to do, which is silk painting. I never in my life thought somebody will contact me from anywhere in the world. The agent came to me and found me, and now my silks are in the runway. So don't worry, try. And if you have competition, don't worry about the competition. The competition is very important. It makes you grow. And if you have 4 silk painters in the same show, it doesn't matter. As long as you're confident with what you're doing, that is the most important thing. And there is a place for everybody. Scarves are not the copy. You can't really copy scarves. If they are original, it's impossible to copy. So if you like green and I have red, there is no competition, even if they are silk painters. That's my way of thinking. Any questions? Talk to me. Yes.
Okay, I have 2 questions. The
Absolutely.
First one is, what runway shows, what designer have you worked with?
Well, this is, first of all, there are rules and regulations when you do it with the designers and the
So you
runway
can't
homes.
tell me? Oh, sorry.
Let me finish. The runways go in Milan, in Venice, in Rome, and in Florence. Rome is the hub of all the designers that meet and go up on the Spanish steps. That is the one that comes everywhere. If you are a designer, like me, who has scarves, who wants to go, you cannot go to the houses and say, I've got this. Or you go on a show and say, here I am. It doesn't work that way. They have to come to you. They will look at you, what do you have? And then they will pick. Now, if there is a runway show that I have clothes and designs to put, I cannot bring those designs to the models to go on a runway in Milan or whatever. You have to send a video. A video will be shown in a center where they have a lot of designers, a lot of houses, and they will look what they like. And if they like something, they'll tell the agent, I want this, I want this, I want that. Contact her. I want 100 of these, or I want the copyright for that. And that's how it works. Now, answering your question, it starts from Forlì. There is a hub. The hub of my agent is in Bologna. From Bologna, she will travel. Now, this is the opening of the season. So the Biennale of Venice, which is every 2 years, will start in May. She will go there and represent us in May. Then Milano will be next year. And from there, we will start really showing. We can show either as an artist, as a designer, or we can have our booth with a video. Now, in my case, because I live overseas, it's very hard to go to Italy, and I can't leave my cranky husband at home alone. So I send the video. The video has been done in Italian. It has been edited. It will be on YouTube. with the models, with everything. So those scarves that you will see, some of those, they're not coming back. They will keep going around until they're sold. And at the same time, I got another Christmas present from my agent. There is a Canadian museum who wants my scarves. So that is the nicest thing that could happen to me. Not because I want to show that, hey, I am a designer. It's because I feel as an artist that somebody likes my work. That's all it matters. It's not money. If you think of money, then you're going in a different direction.
So do you have, is this agent just yours?
No, it's different. This is an agent that has been recognized by the fashion houses to do this wearable art runway shows.
Okay.
So that,
So you've been accepted by her.
Yes.
And so she represents a whole group of people.
yes, yes. Now, it's not cheap, it's expensive. I'm sorry, 5 minutes? Okay, please call me. Tell me any questions.
So when will you know?
What's over here on the table?
Those are some of the things I make.
Oh.
Yes, Marianne.
When will you know the results of the wearable arts initial?
It's already there. It's already prepared. They're getting ready on the runway. So it's a done deal. It's just a matter of who will take them.
Yes.
Any more questions?
You mentioned putting a white paper like thing on the faces of the dolls.
Yeah, that's
What is that?
that nobody touches them when you ship them.
Oh.
Shall we show these, please? This is my American Eagle. It's with Murano glass, which you can see here. This is all Murano glass, and this is paint. This is one of those who's going to Italy. This is called Leonardo because of the colors that really remind me of Leonardo da Vinci. So this is a very big scarf. This is another one. It's poppies. It's an artwork, and it's with Murano glass. You can see it shining. This is a the black rose. It's a big scarf that becomes like a shawl. That's in Italy. This one has been sold. The ginkgo leaves.
that's the ginkgo.
This one also is in Italy. It's the Birds of Paradise, which I sent in. Probably I will be doing also a poncho, all in silk, and you throw it up all with these. This is a black Murano glass, acrylic, and silk painting. These are taller than me, the Amazon lovebirds. And all these feathers here, if you can see, they're a bit different. This is all Murano glass. And this is the butterflies with gold resist, salt water dyes, steamed and set. And they are all washable. This one too goes to Italy. Yes.
I'm a little confused. You're talking about silk, which is wearable, and Murano glass, which is rigid.
The one with the glass is artwork.
So it hangs on the
It
wall.
hangs on the wall.
All right,
Yes.
thank you.
You're welcome. This is Venice, as you all know, Venezia.
And silk, right?
Yeah, all silk, all silk. This is the corsages that I make all on silk, and I dye and I paint, and then I iron petal by petal. They are all different colors, and I work with more than 25 different varieties of silk, sometimes in a wedding bouquet. I do wedding bouquets too. This one has 25.
Does your agent carry these as
She
well?
has them, yes, she has them, yes. And this is canary yellow with peonies, different variety of roses, and the violets are velvet, silk velvet. And this is some of the scarves that you can see. Has some influence, the Japanese kimono. I have to put a touch of my husband here and there. And each scarf has a name. This is Caribbean anemones. They're my babies. This is my Italian kitchen that I did everything in here, including the pasta and the flour with the eggs in the center. And these are two dogs, our two dogs in miniature. This is a Japanese traditional old house. It has the tanuki, and then it has the center where you can do the cooking in here. So I brought very little pieces of Japan by building all these things in the basement, so that I can share that with everybody.
Okay.
These are all Japanese. This is the printing shop. It's a woodblock print, all miniature. That was my first piece.
Oh, this is a shot. This is a little miniature.
This is a big miniature.
Okay.
This is a three-dimensional Anton Pieck 3D.
Is that on silk?
No, that's on paper. That's also.
So it's curved.
It's curved, it's cut
Okay.
in different pieces, and then add up. This is in paper with a silk face, and it's, again, it's a 2D-dimensional, and it's paper. Same here. This is with fabric. These are my dolls. Those two are here. The one in brown is the made in leather. And this is the horse. Every man's house has a horse and a kabuto, which is the warrior's head. I wanted to bring her, but it's raining, and she's worth over $2,000. I didn't want to risk it. So maybe next time. So before I leave, I want to let you know, although I have been born in Egypt, I am Charlie too. Thank you very much.